My God, I hate drugs.
Thousands of policemen and soldiers deployed to Mindanao for Monday's plebiscite on the Bangsamoro Law. This will determine the areas to be covered by the new autonomous Bangsamoro region, which will replace the autonomous region in Muslim Mindanao. Our Trisha Tarada has more.
All set and geared up, these over 20,000 police and soldiers are tasked to make sure that the conduct of Bangsamoro plebiscite will be safe and secure. They will be positioned in different polling centers, while others will serve as reactionary and quick response forces.
Ang areas na concern na binabantayan namin, kung mayroong mga takutan dyan para hindi makaboto, para hindi makalabas yung mga kalaban.
Among the security concerns of law enforcers is political rivalry. And on Tuesday, the Cotabato police also arrested a member of Ansar Khalifa Philippines, a local terrorist group said to be affiliated with ISIS.
Itong grupo na to, meron talaga tayong intelligence information na merong plano na manggulo dito sa upcoming plebiscite. With the arrest of Pagayaw, ay siguro na-preempt natin itong plan, itong grupo.
In the recent Cotabato bombing, police discovered that IEDs were packed in a plastic vinegar bottle, while the other was in a lotion jar.
Lalo na yung mga gwardiya sa gates, no, sa mga entrances. Dapat ito makita nila. Paigtingin pa yung kanilang pag-inspeksyon dun sa mga gamit ng mga tao. Yung mga taong bayan, they have to be vigilant dito.
Authorities are also wary of forces that intend to intimidate voters.
Hayaan nating magdesisyon ang ating mga kababayan pero sa tamang impormasyon. Kung mag-no man sila dahil tama ang pag-intindi nila at kung mag-yes man sila dahil tama ang pag-unawa nila.
Kinausap namin yung mga leaders to be fair lahat. Lahat dapat malinis yung botohan dito, walang takutan, walang natatakot at saka respetuhin nila yung ng result.
What's important for COMELEC and other officials for now is to make sure that everyone will be safe and the credibility of the polls will be intact. In Cotabato City, Trisha Tarada, CNN Philippines.
Energy officials promising enough power supply during the plebiscite for the Bangsamoro Organic Law. Officials say they are closely working with the task force formed to secure power supply for the plebiscite scheduled Monday. They say contingency measures include backup power supply.
Nakahanda naman sila at nakakasana po yan. So we are closely coordinating with the Commission on Elections, the entire power industry, pati yung sa other energy players na nakatutok tayo para magkaroon tayo ng honest, orderly, peaceful elections.
A former cabinet official says the establishment of the Bangsamoro region will unlock the economic potential of the poorest area in the country. Former Finance Secretary and Foundation for Economic Freedom member Gary Teves says the additional funding for the new political entity will attract more investors.
Well, qualitatively at first, it will lead to further growth because there will be peace and security, or at least an improvement in peace and security. And then it's real that the government will be providing additional resources. And even in the Build program of the national government, 17.5% of the total projects will be allocated in the Bangsamoro Autonomous Region in Muslim Mindanao. Well, you have agriculture. You have vast tracts of land there, and this land can be devoted to corn, cassava, and then you will have industries there because there will be the equivalent of the PESA in that area. And because of the peace and order, investors will now be encouraged to put in their investments. So it will be a combination of both industry and agriculture.
Catch the full interview on Business Roundup. The show replays tonight at 8:30 p.m. and tomorrow at 11:30 a.m. and 10 p.m. President Duterte's top security and peace secretaries in Sulu campaigning for the Bangsamoro Organic Law. Defense Secretary Delfin Lorenzana led officials at a gathering yesterday in the capital town of Jolo. He was joined by National Security Advisor Hermogenes Esperon, Interior Secretary Eduardo Año, Peace Advisor Carlito Galvez, and Cabinet Secretary Carlo Nograles. Residents of the province strongly oppose the Bangsamoro law. Vice Governor Abdusakur Tan is leading the opposition and has filed a petition at the Supreme Court against the law. The National Bureau of Investigation joins the police in investigating the killing of another lawyer and former assistant prosecutor in Cebu City. Justice Secretary Minado Guevara asks the NBI to identify the killers of Mary Ann Castro. Castro was ambushed by motorcycle-riding gunmen last night along Escario Street. Police created a special investigation task group for the case. They're looking into Castro's past relationships and cases she was handling as possible motives for the killing. The Integrated Bar of the Philippine Cebu chapter condemned the killing and called on authorities to resolve the case. Still in Cebu, devotees of the holy image of the Santo Niño from out of town can avail of free accommodations beginning today. The Cebu city government has set up the so-called Devotee City using container vans as sleeping quarters. The Devotee City evolved from a tent city 23 years ago, aimed at assisting pilgrims sleeping on the streets during their stay in the city. Pilgrims may avail of the services by presenting bus or boat tickets at the Devotee City complex. Meanwhile, Cebu City is strictly enforcing the ban on all election campaign materials during the Fiesta Señor and Sinulog Festival. The policy, which is followed every year, also prohibits political speeches at the grandstand. This morning, Mayor Tomaso Osmeña ordered the removal of a tarpaulin bearing the name and picture of Ilocos Norte Governor and senatorial candidate Amy Marcos, who greeted the public during the occasion. In his Facebook post, Osmeña told Marcos Cebuanos do not appreciate the politicization of the Sinulog. He said this wouldn't earn her votes and would do her more harm than good. Marcos thanked the mayor for the reminder and also told her supporters to take down the tarp. Netizens weighing in on the removal of Marcos's tarpaulin poster. This Facebook user says he salutes Cebuanos for being intelligent voters and hopes they can maintain that image. Gretchen West says we see this kind of campaigning all over the Philippines, and she asks, are other community leaders asleep or sleeping? Another netizen sees irony in the situation, saying Sinulog is a celebration, but people are full of hatred. And finally, Arnel Ardemer believes the Cebu City Mayor took down Marcos's tarpaulin not because of integrity, but because of politics. The latest in sports, an inspiring story featuring the first Filipina to conquer the 7 summits of the world. In an interview on The Source, mountaineer and Coast Guard Lieutenant Karina Dayondon shares the challenges she faced. She also recalls how her sister's battle with cancer inspired her to finish this ultimate dream.
Physically, yes, pwede nating sabihin na mas malakas ang lalaki, pero yun nga ngayon sa nakikita naman natin, napakita natin, ma-encourage natin yung mga kakabaihan na hindi lang naman puro lakas ng katawan ang kailangan. Kailangan din ng lakas ng loob, determinasyon, at yung tiwala sa sarili na kaya natin kahit anong pwede natin gawin.
Dayondon reached the last of the summits, Mount Vinson in Antarctica, last December 16th. More stories coming up. Electric jeepneys with Wi-Fi and security cameras now operating in Makati City. And who are performing at this year's Grammy Awards? Find out when we return. A more eco-friendly way of commuting now available in Makati City just in time for the closure of the Estrella Pantaleon Bridge. Carolyn Bonkin tells us more.
After a month of pilot testing, the government, in partnership with the private sector, officially launched the Isakay on Friday. This is an electric-powered jeepney that will ply the route from MRT Buendia to Mandaluyong City Hall.
This Isakay looks like a mini bus from outside, but take a look inside and you will see all the features of a modern jeepney. Long seats on both sides, which could accommodate up to 20 passengers, and enough room for 9 more people to stand. Although not air-conditioned, expect a comfortable ride because there are fans positioned all around.
There's also Wi-Fi on board and security cameras. 15 Isakays have already been issued permits to operate and tested for a month since December.
We hear a lot of good stories when you put in place those key components under the monetization program. Salary based na yung driver, hindi na humahabol ng boundary, and obviously if you run it on Egypt, zero emission. You are actually doing the environment a favor.
Right now, there are 2.5 million vehicles in Metro Manila which contribute to air pollution. But electric jeepneys are emission-free.
In the 1 month that we've done a pilot run, it's equivalent to something like 15,000 kilograms of carbon emissions that we've been able to avoid.
They can be having savings as much as 600 pesos a day as compared to a regular jeepney, yung mga lumang jeepney natin. And besides, yung electric natin, mas stable yung kanyang presyo.
With heavier traffic expected in Makati Avenue, Mandaluyong Bridge, and EDSA Guadalupe because of the closure of Estrella Pantaleon Bridge starting this weekend, the local government of Makati hopes travelers would opt to ride e-jeepneys instead of bringing cars.
It will just not cater to motorists or passengers na walang sasakyan, but also yung mga tao na hindi na lang magdadala ng sasakyan kasi meron ng point-to-point from Mandaluyong to Makati.
For now, passengers pay through cash, but soon, beep cards may be used to pay fares. E-jeepneys are now operating from 5 a.m. to midnight. Caroline Bonquin, CNN Philippines.
The next big dieting craze could improve not only your health, but the Earth's as well. An international team of scientists developed the planetary health diet. They say it can help in sustainable food production. The diet involves reducing sugar and red meat consumption by half while eating more fruits, nuts, and vegetables. The diet could prevent up to 11.6 million premature deaths without hurting the planet. That's according to a report published Wednesday in the medical journal, The Lancet. A local funk rock band has a surprise for fans. Four of Spades released their debut album entitled Clap, Clap, Clap. It consists of 15 tracks, which are available in Spotify, Apple Music, and iTunes. The band currently has 3 members. That's after frontman Unique Salonga left the group in May last year to pursue a solo career.